In the heart of the dense woods, where shadows dance with the whispering leaves, there stood an old, dilapidated mansion known to locals as Ravenwood Manor. Legends whispered through generations about the eerie occurrences within its walls. Yet, none could fathom the true extent of the horrors that lurked within until the night when Emily, a curious young woman, dared to venture into its depths. Emily had always been drawn to the mysterious and the unknown. Armed with only a flashlight and her courage, she approached Ravenwood Manor, its imposing facade silhouetted against the moonlit sky. As she pushed open the creaking gates, a chill ran down her spine, but she pressed on, driven by an insatiable curiosity. Stepping into the foyer, Emily's breath caught in her throat. The air was thick with a palpable sense of dread, and the once grand mansion now lay in ruins. Shadows danced across the cracked walls, and the floorboards groaned under her weight. Ignoring the warning signs, Emily pressed forward, determined to uncover the secrets hidden within. As she ventured deeper into the mansion, the darkness seemed to consume her, and the silence was deafening. Every step echoed through the empty halls, and Emily couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Suddenly, a cold gust of wind swept through the corridor, extinguishing her flashlight. Panic surged through her as she tumbled to relight it, but before she could, she heard it, the faint sound of footsteps echoing from the darkness. Heart pounding, Emily turned to flee, but something forced her to stay. With trembling hands, she reached out, her fingers brushing against the icy surface of a long-forgotten painting. As she gazed upon the portrait, a shiver ran down her spine. The figure depicted bore a striking resemblance to herself. Before she could comprehend the significance of the discovery, a voice whispered in her ear, chilling her to the bone. "You shouldn't have come here," it hissed, sending waves of terror coursing through her veins. With a cry, Emily turned to flee, but the darkness seemed to constrict around her, trapping her in its suffocating embrace. Desperate, she stumbled through the halls, each turn leading her deeper into the labyrinthine mansion. Shadows danced at the edge of her vision, and the walls seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. Just as Emily feared she would be lost to the darkness forever, she stumbled upon a hidden chamber concealed behind a crumbling wall. Gasping for breath, she collapsed onto the dusty floor, her heart racing with fear. But as she caught her breath, she noticed something. The chamber was filled with relics from a bygone era, each whispering tales of untold suffering and despair. Trembling hands, Emily reached out, her fingers brushing against a tattered journal bound in faded leather. As she flipped through its pages, her blood ran cold. The journal detailed the tragic fate of a young woman who had dared to defy the darkness that consumed Ravenwood Manor. As the realization dawned upon her, a presence stirred in the shadows, its icy tendrils wrapping around her. With a final cry, Emily surrendered to the darkness, her fate forever entwined with the ghostly presence that haunted Ravenwood Manor. And as the echoes of her screams faded into the night, the mansion fell silent once more, its secrets buried beneath layers of time and torment.